It is 1960. You are standing on a stretch of flat, silent desert on the edge of the Arabian Gulf. The air is so hot it shimmers. There are no roads, no buildings taller than 2 stories, no electricity in most homes. The entire population of this place, this tiny fishing village at the edge of the world, is fewer than 40,000 people. There is nothing here that tells you what is coming. Today, that same strip of desert is home to the tallest building ever constructed by human hands. It has an indoor ski slope. It has islands built from scratch in the middle of the ocean. It has a police force that drives Lamborghinis. In less than 60 years, Dubai transformed from one of the poorest places on earth into one of the most spectacular cities ever built. How does that happen? How does a desert fishing village become a symbol of the future? To understand it, we have to go back to the very beginning. It is the early 20th century, and the people of Dubai survive on 2 things: fishing and pearls. Every summer, thousands of men climb into wooden boats called dhows and sail out into the Gulf. They dive, without oxygen, without equipment, into the warm, dark water below. They come up with oysters. Some of those oysters hold pearls, and those pearls, sold to merchants from India and Europe, are the lifeblood of the entire region. It is hard, dangerous, brutal work. Men drown, men get sick, men grow old before their time. The ruler of Dubai in this era is Sheikh Maktoum bin Hashir Al Maktoum, a man who understands one thing clearly: isolation is death. So in 1902, he makes a decision that will quietly reshape everything. He eliminates customs taxes entirely, no fees, no tariffs. Come to Dubai, and you can trade freely. Merchants notice. Persian traders arrive. Indian merchants follow. A small but real economy begins to breathe. But then, disaster. In 1929, Japanese scientist Mikimoto masters the art of cultivating pearls artificially. Overnight, the Gulf pearl trade collapses. The price crashes to almost nothing. Families that had built their lives around diving are suddenly left with nothing to dive for. Dubai is back at the edge of the abyss, and then everything changes. It is 1966. Engineers drilling in the desert make a discovery: oil. Not as much as Abu Dhabi. Not enough to last forever. But enough. Enough to give one extraordinary ruler the fuel to build something that had never existed before. That ruler is Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, and he is unlike any leader Dubai has ever had. Where other rulers see oil money as wealth to be spent, Rashid sees something else entirely. He sees a countdown clock. He knows the oil will run out, and he refuses to let Dubai die when it does. "My grandfather rode a camel," he famously says. "My father rode a camel. I drive a Mercedes. My son drives a Land Rover. His son will drive a Land Rover, but his son will ride a camel." He refuses to let that prophecy come true. Rashid takes the oil money and does something radical. He invests it, not in palaces or luxury, but in infrastructure. He dredges Dubai Creek to allow larger trading ships to enter. He builds a dry dock. He constructs a modern port called Port Rashid, then an even larger one, Jebel Ali, which will eventually become the largest man-made harbor in the world. He is not building a city for the present. He is engineering a machine that will keep running long after the oil is gone. But even Rashid could not have imagined what his son would do next. It is 1990. Sheikh Rashid is gone. His son, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, inherits a city at a crossroads. The oil is running out, exactly as predicted. Dubai has maybe 2 decades of reserves left. The world has plenty of cities built on oil. But Mohammed doesn't want Dubai to be one of them. He wants something that has never existed. A city so extraordinary, so impossible, so jaw-dropping, that the world has no choice but to come to it. He makes a bet that most people think is insane. In 1999, he opens the Burj Al Arab, a sail-shaped hotel built on an artificial island, rising 321 meters above the Gulf. It has a helipad on the 28th floor. Every room is a duplex suite. It is immediately called the world's only 7-star hotel. The world laughs at first. Then they come to see it, and they don't leave. But Mohammed is already thinking bigger. In 2001, he announces the Palm Jumeirah, an artificial palm tree-shaped island to be built from scratch in the middle of the ocean. Engineers from around the world say it cannot be done. The waves will erode it. The current will shift it. The sand will sink. They dredge 94 million cubic meters of sand from the ocean floor. They drop 7 million tons of rock to form the breakwater. And against every prediction, the palm rises. Then comes Burj Khalifa. Construction begins in 2004. At its peak, 12,000 workers are on site every single day. The building reaches 828 meters, nearly 3 times the height of the Eiffel Tower. There is no engineering precedent for what they are building. Every floor above a certain height is uncharted territory. The architect, Adrian Smith, designs a Y-shaped base to reduce wind force. Special high-strength concrete, never used at this scale before, is pumped to heights it was never meant to reach. On January 4th, 2010, Sheikh Mohammed stands before the world and opens the tallest structure in human history. The desert fishing village is now a skyline. Stand in Dubai today, and the transformation is almost impossible to process. In 1960, there were no paved roads. Today, there are 14 lanes of highway stretching to the horizon. In 1960, there was no airport. Today, Dubai International is the busiest international airport on Earth, connecting over 90 million passengers to more than 240 destinations every year. In 1960, the GDP of the entire UAE was effectively zero. Today, Dubai alone generates over $100 billion annually, and less than 1% of it comes from oil. Sheikh Rashid's countdown clock ran out. The oil is nearly gone. It didn't matter. Because what was built in its place, the ports, the airports, the towers, the tourism, the trade, proved that a city doesn't have to be born with resources. It only has to be built by people willing to imagine something that doesn't exist yet. Dubai is not a story about oil. It is a story about what happens when one generation refuses to accept the future they were given and decides, against all evidence, to build another one entirely. That is what it means to go from before to after. If this story stayed with you, there are more like it. Transformations that seem impossible until you understand what came before. They're right here on Before.